3, 2, 1.
A critical series for the Orioles got off to a very rough start as the O's lose both ends of a doubleheader at Yankee Stadium. The first game 6-0 and the second game 10-1. And we're breaking down both games here with Hall of Famer Jim Palmer. And Jim, that first game felt like everything was working for Gerrit Cole. He went all 7 innings, gave up just 2 hits in that one. The Orioles just could not seem to get anything going against the Yankees' new ace.
Well, the Orioles won the last 3 in Baltimore, and what they did, they held the Yankees to like 1.7 runs. 3 of the first 8 hitters hit home runs off Alex Cobb. Now, in his defense, hadn't pitched since the 29th of August. He had as they turned out, a cold, but in the COVID-19 world, if you have a cold, you have to the protocol is that you take some time off and whatever. So he wasn't at his best. Settled down though, and actually threw 60 pitches, 40 strikes. But, again, what the Orioles did in Baltimore, they weren't able to do in the first game or the second game, as it turns out. And, it's funny, Cole didn't pitch that poorly in Baltimore, but the similarity was that the Yankees didn't play particularly well behind him. They beat Cole and Tanaka, the 2 pitchers that pitched for the Yankees today. They scored 9 runs of them, but I think 6 of them were unearned. And if you go back, especially to the second game, which we'll talk about, the first game was, DJ LeMahieu, one of the best hitters in the American League. Gardner hits a 2-run home run to make it 3-0 after LeMahieu hits a solo home run to start the game. Gardner came in inning 163. He's 37 years old. Last year he had his best year ever with 28 home runs. One of the papers in New York described him as at 37 looking at least 15 years older because he's just had a tough year, even though he's hit a lot of line drives. So they jump on top. Higgy Shioka hits a 2-run home run on a pitch that really didn't look that bad till it ended up in the left field bleachers. And all of a sudden, if you're Alex Cobb, you want to stay away from an early lead by the Yankees in the big inning, and he wasn't able to do it.
And you just mentioned it right there. Game 2, Keegan Aiken, the rookie, went for the Orioles and lasted just 2/3 of an innings, gave up 4 earned runs. But the defense let him down just a little bit. Felt like he could have had a much better outing, at least gone deeper into this game, had there not been a few defensive miscues in that first inning for Aiken.
Well, DJ LeMahieu, who walked the lead off the game, he tried to go to third base, and Ruiz couldn't handle the throw from Mountcastle. If he does, it's an out. And then Mullins missed the cutoff man. And then you got loopers, and then you got this, and then you got that. I mean, to Keegan Aiken's, his composure, he ended up throwing almost 40 pitches. And he never, ever seemed like it would affect him. But again, part of good pitching, and we saw it in Baltimore, something the Yankees didn't do, the Orioles didn't do today, which is actually play good defense behind him. So, you get a 1-0 lead. One of the hottest hitters in baseball is DJ Stewart. He came in with 5 home runs in his last 5 games. He hit a home run off of Tanaka, which is what he did in Baltimore, 2-run home run. Today it was a solo. Orioles get an early lead. 1-0 goes to 4-1 because Aiken wasn't quite as good as he was against the Yankees in Baltimore, and then the defense really let him down.
You mentioned DJ Stewart there. What is working for DJ Stewart? 6 home runs in the last 6 games. Heard you on the broadcast on MASN 2 earlier talking about not missing his pitches. Is that what you've seen from DJ through this past week?
Well, it's funny. It's not like the league has a book on him, because, he came up the end of 2018 last year, hurt his ankle, I think down in I think it was Texas. And, even in spring training 1.0 this year, was still bothered because he had ankle surgery. So, again, they don't really know how to pitch him, but he got a hanging slider off of Tanaka. There's your 6th home run in 6 games. He was a 2-seamer in Baltimore. Every time he gets a good pitch, he's not missing it. And then, we saw him later in the ballgame take a 2-strike low and away cutter, from one of the Yankee pitchers and hit it down and away into left field. We saw him hit one off the end of the bat in Baltimore the other way. So here's a guy that's very confident. And when Santander goes down, who was leading the Orioles in pretty much all the offensive categories, somebody has to take his place. And, the Orioles have done it all year long, get an opportunity. I mean, it's almost like one of those dreams, not a nightmare. But it's one of those good dreams where you don't want to wake up because, and I saw it. I talked about it on the air. I saw Reggie when he played for the Orioles the 1 year in '76. I think he had home runs in 7 straight games. Don Baylor was one of my teammates. Eventually, after we had traded him Oakland, he would go to the Angels and become the MVP. But he had a game where he had 7 or 8 home runs in 7 or 8 consecutive games. And again, they just get red hot. You know, I've seen hitters like Tony Oliva come in a 4-game series and get something like 20-some hits in a 4-game series in Baltimore. You know, some ridiculous amount of hits like that. So, you know, again, when you're hot, you're hot. You know, DJ Stewart, and we're seeing a little bit of better defense than last year. Looks like he throws certainly, you know, better than some of the other outfielders for the Orioles. So he's getting a chance to play, and you know what? He sees in the opportunity.
And just 16 games remaining in this season. I'm sure DJ Stewart wishes that this 2020 season would be just a little bit longer, but we're coming into the final home stretch of the 2020 season as the Orioles have 2 more games at Yankee Stadium in this series, tomorrow and then Sunday, so they have a chance to make up some ground in the AL wildcard race. Hall of Famer Jim Palmer, thanks so much for hopping on. It's just a shame that your dog Teddy didn't bark at some point and make an appearance on this broadcast.
Well, there he is.
There we go.
Talking about Teddy barks upon. You know, all I have to go is think about it. You wanted to bark, and you know, again, wire-haired dogs, so they'll bark at anything. He'll bark at a fly. So anyway, you know, it's funny. He barked the other night. The Orioles had a 5-1 lead, and then they ended up losing that ball game against the Mets. So hopefully, we get to see Dean Kramer tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it because he was just outstanding in his major league debut on Sunday. So hopefully, I don't know if he can be that good because he was that good. But we'll see how it goes tomorrow. So it's another challenge for a young guy in his second major league start.
And going up against the same team that he faced last Sunday in those 6 shutout innings. Again, Jim, thanks so much for hopping on, and thanks to Teddy right at the end there.
Okay, you're welcome. Take care.